There's actually a question, Ross, if you could read this in chat from Igor. He's asking a question that I actually feel we can address with Restream. Can you read his comment really quick out loud? Because this is something that is really interesting with mobile games.
Sure. What strategies should Western content creators employ to have success in mobile game streaming? We're streaming at times severely different to the audience, and we're probably using a different language. Perrin, you've actually had some experience in this.
That's tough. I mean, Perrin, I'd like to get your take on that. And I guess the reason why I wanted to bring that up is that I think that restreaming is a huge opportunity to help you deal with some of these issues. Like, you may be constrained by language, you may be constrained by time zones, and Perrin can talk about some best practices there in terms of time zones, maybe streaming at different times. But if you restream on all platforms at the exact same time, across everywhere, you're maximizing your opportunity to reach these mobile gamers as they go check out new apps like Trovo and DLive, as they check in on YouTube channels, as they're browsing around on Facebook Gaming, as they're maybe flipping between streams on Twitch. If you're restreaming, and we're sponsored by Restream, we're posting a link in chat right now if you don't mind doing that, Ross, and it's in the description of the YouTube video. By being everywhere at the same time, you maximize your growth. You maximize your opportunity to capture these mobile gaming audiences as they're using each one of these streaming mobile apps. As we've seen, Perrin, and I'll let you talk about best practices here to dealing with these issues in just a second, but as we've seen from basically all of the data, video consumption is happening on mobile more and more and more. So it's not just the gaming itself, it's the video consumption. And so people are using the Twitch app, people are using the YouTube app, people are using the Trovo and DLive app, they're using the Twitter app, etc., way more than they're using desktop. And so while they're on your phone, you need to have your live stream pop up while they have that app up and they're taking a dump and they want to watch a live stream. Okay? If you're not restreaming, you're not going to be able to capture those viewers while they're where their attention is at. As a marketer, you need to be where the attention is. And the attention is no longer on the big screens in people's studio. It's no longer on these desktop computers or on the TV in your living room. The attention is on this thing. And by restreaming, bling, 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 those notifications are going to be going off on their phone if they're following you on any of these platforms. Yesterday, I restreamed, and a bunch of the comments were, holy notifications, Batman, because some people had followed me on like 5 platforms, and when I restreamed, it went blah, 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 and then they tuned in yesterday. And I doubled my concurrent viewers versus doing, actually I tripled my concurrent viewers yesterday on my live stream that I did on AWOL Digital versus streaming exclusively on Twitch. But Perrin, can you tell us some of those best practices of dealing with wacky time zones and languages with mobile games?
I mean, it's pretty simple. Stream at the times that work for you. Look at the platforms you're streaming on to see what peak times are. Like Facebook Gaming is great. They have a heat map that says when your audience is most active, and you want to try to look at that. You want to try to appeal to time zones of your main demographic and see if you can make that work, even if it's just for an hour or 2 hours or whatever. Also, clearly communicate in your stream title sometimes your language, or just clearly denote that you're an English-speaking streamer or where you're from. In my experience, I found that I have a lot of audience from the Philippines, from Southeast Asian territories like Malaysia and Singapore as well. And they really enjoy the fact that there is a North American English-speaking streamer in their space because it's not very common, which allows me to stand out and have a unique advantage versus my competition. I think something that's very helpful in bridging the gap is learning a little bit of these other languages, even if it's just the common greeting words for people. Greet them in their own language. Show that you can go and grow outside of your own native language, because most of the people watching you know more than one language. They know their language, and they likely know English too, because they're taught that growing up, whereas most of us in the United States only know one language. So try to appeal, learn a little bit about their demographics, learn a little bit of their language to at least greet or say good night or goodbye, etc. to them as well. That will go a long way. It's a nice little strategy to earn their trust and to earn some loyalty from your viewers. But mostly use it to stand out. Use it to be unique in your space, because most likely there are not many other US English speaking people trying to do this in that territory, and everyone will be interested and curious, why are you doing it? Why are you the only one, right? Now is the time. If you've ever understood anything about marketing, marketing is all about standing out. Marketing is all about figuring out how to differentiate yourself from all of your competition. And if you're doing this from a US or even a European standpoint as an English speaking creator, you just stand out just by being you and diving into the space. By looking at this chart, I don't know if you guys have it on screen, US isn't even on here. It's not even in the top 20 for Free Fire. It just doesn't exist. The one stream on Facebook Gaming, I just decided to do Free Fire one day. I instantly had 500 plus concurrent viewers. Instantly. It was crazy. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life with streaming. It was better even in the early days of Twitch when I would just randomly fire up Team Fortress 2 and get 200 concurrents. It was even better than that. So you can use this as an opportunity to stand out. Use it as an opportunity to become more worldly as a person and understand how other cultures work other than just our own. Learn a little bit of some other languages and engage with people who are new and different. And a lot of times they're younger too. And I think having a young audience for a live streamer is really important. So that would be my suggestions to you, is just use it as a growth opportunity and use it as a marketing advantage.